Guys, we have two functions here, f of x, which is equal to 2x squared minus 5x minus 6, and then g of x, which is 5x plus 3. All right, so what are we going to do? We have actually three questions, right? But the first one is f times g of x. So that means what? So that means we want to multiply, okay? So we want to multiply 2x squared minus 5x minus 6. We want to multiply that by 5x plus 3. That's what we want to do, okay? So I'm coming here for the sake of space, right? So we're going to do 2x squared times 5x. And that is 2 times 5 is what, 10? And then x squared times x to the first power, because there's an invisible one there. And when we multiply on the same variable, what do we do to the powers? We add the powers. So that will give us what, 10x to the third power. Then the same 2x to the second power, going to multiply now, positive 3. So that will be 2 times 3 is going to give us 6. So that's plus 6. And x squared is going to be left by itself. All right? Then we go negative 5x times 5x. That is negative 5 times positive 5 is going to give us what? Negative 25. And then that is x, then because it's x power 1, that will give us x to the second power. Okay? Then negative 5x times 3 is going to give us what? It's going to give us negative 15x. Okay? So that's that. Then, now negative 6 times 5x, that will give us what? Negative 30x. Negative 6 times positive 3, it's going to give us negative 18. All right? So that's what we have so far. Now we got to combine like terms, correct? So 10x to the third has nobody to play with, so we have 10x to the third. Now these two got to be combined together, and these two also got to combine together because they are like terms. So we're doing positive 6 minus 25, so that will give us what? That will give us negative 19, x to the second power. Okay, because remember, when one is positive, the other is negative, what do? We subtract and keep the sign of the highest number. So that's how we subtract 6 from 25, we get 19, and the sign of the highest number is negative. So that's why we have negative 19. Now we get going, we have negative 15 and negative 30. Both of them carry the same sign, what do? We add and we keep the sign. So we add 15 to 30, that will give us 45, and then the sign is negative 45, then we have x. Then minus 18. Okay? So then is there anything else that we can combine together? No. Okay? So we can't combine any of these things together. So this will be our final answer when it comes to f times g of x. Okay? Then the second question is B. B is what? F of g of x. So that means the f function on top divided by the g function at the bottom. So that will give us what? 2x second minus 5x minus 6 over 5x plus 3. Now, what we are actually asked to do is to see if we can factor the top expression and see if any of the factors can simplify 5x plus 3. In our case here, no, but I will urge you guys, for the sake of working on factoring, you can try this one to see if that is factorable. And then also after factoring it, and then if you're not able to simplify with something that is alike on top and the bottom, so usually, it doesn't make sense to do that, okay? So that what's going to happen here is that then at the bottom here, we're going to have this one set it up not equal to 0, okay? So that would then be 5x plus 3 not equal to 0, because because if the bottom piece is equal to 0, this function becomes undefined, all right? So let's see. So then we have negative 3 both sides, okay? Then we have 5x not equal to negative 3. Then you divide by 5 and 5, okay? Then x equals to negative 3 not equal to negative 3 over 5. So that means you can add to this one that x not equal to negative 3 over 5. So this would be your final answer. You know, this means that if x happens to be equals to negative 3 over 5, the bottom piece here, the denominator is gonna be equal to 0. And if it equals to 0, this function is undefined. So we need to make clear that we have to put that. Okay? Then question C. So question C is going to give us what? So question C is going to be then f of g of x. Okay? F of g of x. All right, so that's a composite function. So f of g of x, so that means what? So that means we're going to take the g function and then insert it in f function. Okay? So that means what? So that means if we have, so that means we have 2 instead of having 2x squared. So that become, so instead of having x, what do we have then? We then have the g function there. Okay? So that'd be 5x plus 3, then to the second power. Then minus 5. So instead of having x also, we're going to have 5x plus 3. Then that is minus 6. Okay? So that means what? So that means again that whenever you have x in the f function, g takes that space. Okay? So now let's get going. So we have 2 then times. So this one's the same thing as having 5x plus 3 times 5x plus 3. Okay? And then here we can already remove the parentheses by doing what? Negative 5 times 5 is going to give us what? Negative 25x. And negative 5 times positive 3 is going to give us negative 15. And then we bring down the negative 6. Are we good? All right, so now we're going to work on this one. So sometimes some people who are fast, they can just see this one and then work it out very quickly. Okay, that's perfect square. So you can always do that. Or in case you forget about that, or you are just confused, just use the FOIL method. 5x times 5x is going to give us what? It's going to give us what? It's going to give us 25x to the second power. And then 5x times 3 is going to give us what? It's going to give us 15x. And then 3 times 5x is going to give us what? Plus another 15x. And then 3 times 3 is going to give us what? Plus 9. And then, of course, you're going to bring down the other terms here, minus 25x. And then you can combine these two together already. Both carry the same sign. You add and keep the sign. That'll give you negative what? Negative 21. Okay? So that will give us negative 21 for this one here. And then don't forget to put the parentheses right here. Very important. And then once this one comes down, so what do? Now we're going to multiply everybody by 2 inside the parentheses. So that means what? So that means 2 times 25 is going to give us what? 50x squared. 2 times 15 is going to give us what? 30x. And 2 times 15 again, 30x. And then 2 times 9 is going to give us what? 18. And then we bring down the minus 25x and then minus 21. Okay? And then now we can combine all our terms together. So these two can be combined together with this one and these two also together. So that'll give you what? 50x to the second power. So 30 plus 30 is 60. And then 60 minus 25. So we can do that. Okay? So that'll give us what? 35. All right? So that gives you a plus 35x. And then 18 minus 21 is going to give us what? Both carry different signs. You subtract, keep the sign the highest number. So you subtract 18 from 21, that gives you 3. So, and then the sign is negative 3 because that's the highest number there, right? And ladies and gentlemen, we just finished with this problem here. This is it. You take step by step. Try not to make any mistake or sign mistake. If not, it's just going to blow the whole thing. So you got to be very careful. All right? Thank you.